Hello everybody, welcome back to this channel. I'm uploading because I think this video is it's a discussion video, and it doesn't fit with the other channel that I have, or any other channels I have, so I decided to just upload it here, because why not? And let me look at an article, and it has something to do with Star Wars Day, or Star Wars related, because it was uploaded on Star Wars Day, this, article called "The Star Wars Movies Aren't Worth the Hype, They're Not Funny, and the Biggest Twist Was Totally Predictable." Now, just from the title alone, you can probably tell this video is, or this, article is not pro-Star Wars. So, what did it say? May 4th is also known as Star Wars Day. I've never understood the hype. Although my brothers are huge Star Wars fans of the franchise, I could never make it through the first film. I eventually watched The Force Awakens, but wasn't blown away and found it, derivative. May 1st is usually choked full of NSY and C memes and post welcoming summer, but just a few days later, the images are usually replaced with those of Star Wars characters sporting the text "May the Force be with you." And the reason why I didn't upload this video on Star Wars Day or the day after is because I wanted to make my opinions let my opinions run through my mind, not just say what I think off the top of my mind. So I just wanted to just not say anything that quickly. Let it sit for a few days, and I'm making this video, so just want to let that point out of the way so it's not like a plot hole. This is maybe I don't get too much because I've never seen the original Star Wars movies. The first Star Wars film came out in 1977, nearly 20 years before I was born. At the time of my birth, the original trilogy is a worldwide film franchise and had been completed and revealed to the public. And by the time I was 8, the prequel trilogy was out, and I still had never seen any of the 6 films. Since I didn't have the opportunity, I've tried watching the originals before, but lasted approximately 10 to 15 minutes before turning off the television out of boredom. This is the first point of the article, I get it. The original trilogy, the original film, the original trilogy, they're not the most exciting at some parts. But to say that you turned it off, or you say you were bored 10 to 15 minutes, and then turned it off after watching the original film is kind of, because the first 15 minutes are not the most exciting, but it's the whole point of film that if you're watching A New Hope for the first time, you're going to be confused. That is the audience reaction to this, is confusion. That's the point of the film, because you're taken in the middle of a battle. So, it's just confusion. That's what the director, George Lucas, the man who created Star Wars, is what he does. Every film, doesn't matter if you're talking about episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, even if sequel trilogy, all the films always start in confusion. That's the point. And to say that you're bored, you should just keep watching because it gets more interesting as it goes on. Because when you watch films, you're bored. You know what's going on. It's not just a Star Wars thing, it's all films. I watch films that are not Star Wars related, and I'm bored. But eventually, when the film starts going, it picks up speed and becomes more interesting. Then when I watch the film again, I'm like, okay, I get what this is going at. If you would watch the film through the entirety and watch A New Hope again, you'll probably be more entertained. But let's just continue on. The night that Revenge of the Sith was released, my oldest brother, about his gang of Star Wars loving friends, dressed up for the midnight showing. I was both intrigued by their costumes, yet baffled why they were so obsessed with the franchise. I'd much rather be streaming the High School Musical trilogy, which deserves even more movies than Star Wars, for the iconic cast alone, or binge-watching the CW's Gossip Girl. Catch me at any time, and I'll probably watch either of those, or more likely both, in the last few days. We'll see what he likes. I disagree with that, but you're entitled to your opinion, and I get that. Not everyone is a Star Wars fan, not everyone's gonna watch it and love it, and be a fan of it. Not everyone's like that, because we all have different opinions, different, stuff that we like, and, you're not, I don't like watching the High School Musical. I never got into why High School Musical is so popular. I should make an article about why I never got into the hype of High School Musical, or this show called The Gossip Girl, which I never heard before this article I read. So, let's just continue on. During my teenage years, I decided to give Star Wars a try. I bought a ticket sat in theaters and watched The Force Awakens for the first film in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, and yes, it was good. The cinematography was great, likely much better than that of the 1977 film, for obvious reasons. The story was entertaining, and actors action-packed, suspenseful at moments, and intriguing at others, but once the movie was over, I wasn't hooked. It's a good movie, but I still couldn't wrap my head around the intense fascination with the franchise. The film is nothing new, it's beautifully done, but somewhat derivative from the original movies, which I had read about prior to attaining the screening. Because of the lack of originality, I found the film to be entertaining, yet nothing mind-blowing or game-changing. Pretty much this part is talking about the sequel trilogy of The Force Awakens, and I kind of disagree that the cinematography is better. Like, they're about the same. I think the original trilogy, the way they're filmed, is good. The reason why people like Star Wars so much is because the original trilogy, you can any age can watch it, and it doesn't feel like an old film. Yes, they're outdated, but they're not necessarily just old. Like, I watch other films that are old, and you can tell they're old. Cinematography wise, the way the script is. Because the reason Star Wars is so popular is because the pacing in the films feel like modern day. The special effects prior to the special editions, they look real. Nothing. It's an immersive experience, and to say that the cinematography was better in The Force Awakens, I'm 50-50 on it, because I think they're both good. But to say that, to put one down just because it's old doesn't mean that it shouldn't be put down upon, because the original trilogy is still very good, and it's a lot better than The Force Awakens. I like The Force Awakens, but, it is not a film that stood the test of time, especially with the other two sequel trilogy films being released. I believe this is the last part. Oh yeah, it's 2 more parts, yeah. Yeah, it's this part. I can't wrap my head around the famous plot twist either. The world-shattering moment in which Vader reveals, spoiler alert, that he is Luke Skywalker's father, in the scene that many hold as one of the biggest cinematic plot twists in history. And yes, in essence, it was groundbreaking. But Anna Kendrick, I should say, kindly points out in Pitch Perfect the word Vader in Dutch for father. Okay, so you quoted something from a 2012 film. That is a 32-year gap. 32 years of this plot twist being known. So, the reason why no one knows about this is because, we don't... Why the hell would we look at his name? Why would we look at Vader and say, oh, that means father? That's Latin. It means Latin. It's in Latin. That's how. Vader in Latin means father. Just to let you know. We don't know that. That goes for any film. Why the hell would we look at any film, look at a character's name and go, okay, in Latin that means that? We would never know, and the only reason we do know is because someone just so happened to just translate these names in Latin, and it just came out as that. Literally, George Lucas has said that the Vader, meaning father, is completely coincidental. The quote film that came out years later, decades, in fact, later, is just, not the smart thing to do, because obviously, as time goes on, Star Wars is this phenomenon that all the, people in Hollywood love to just, make fun of, reference, and stuff like that. And Pitch Perfect is no excuse for that either, and, yeah, this is what I have to say about that. My opinions likely stem from the fact I wasn't even born when the original trilogy was released. I was late into the party, and by the time I was old enough to understand words and develop an attention span long enough to sit through an entire film, my interests had nothing to do with Star Wars. Maybe if I was born in 1987, like my oldest brother, or even 1994, like my older or other sibling, I might be a fan. Also, if I had seen the films back then, there's a chance I could have found the newer ones more nostalgic than dull. Either way, Star Wars just isn't my thing. If you love it, that's great. Enjoy Star Wars Day, may the Force be with you. Go ahead and binge watch the film franchise today, but let me be as I enjoy the fact that the entire High School Musical trilogy is available to stream on Disney Plus. So the person who made the article, they addressed that they don't like Star Wars, but that doesn't mean that you should put down other people either, which is an important point that I think a lot of Star Wars fans don't understand sometimes, where it's okay to have different opinions. It's okay to listen to them, but it's not put them down. It's like I said earlier, we're all different and we all enjoy different things. You know, the person who made this article doesn't like Star Wars. They've tried it, they watched it, but they just found it boring. That's not something new. I've seen videos of reactions of people who've never seen Star Wars and they found it boring. They watched the prequel trilogy first, they found it confusing. They watched the sequel trilogy and they found it to be kind of dull and just not understanding what the franchise is about. So, yeah, this isn't the first thing ever, you know. This is just something that I looked at on Star Wars Day and I was like, you know what, I want to make this into a video. Sorry if I stuttered or just kind of misread stuff throughout the entire article. I am just reading this off the cut. This is my opinion on it. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe. If you want, subscribe to this channel. I'm not going to upload frequently as much as you've seen. So go subscribe to my other channel, QZK Bob, where I do upload more frequently and do daily videos. Well, semi-daily, but more frequently than this channel. Yeah, I like reading this article and seeing different people's perspectives, because, you know, people forget that Star Wars is a film, you know, a franchise that people don't necessarily enjoy or like watching, or they just aren't a fan. You know, there's just people that aren't fans of Star Wars. You know, there's like over 7 billion people in the world. Not everyone has seen Star Wars. Not everyone who has seen Star Wars likes it, and they stopped caring about it, you know? So, those are my opinions. Comment down below your thoughts on this article. I may leave the link to this article in the description down below if I can find it again, or if I remember. So I'm gonna go now, so goodbye everyone.